Hello friends. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Here, I will explain the material about what is the theory of graphs and planar graphs from graphs theory courses. Before continuing, don't forget to like and subscribe to fulfill this task. Thank you. Graphs are often used to represent an object and its relationship to other object. The history of graph theory began when Swiss mathematician Leonhard Euler solved the Königsberg Bridge problem. The Königsberg Bridge problem is an old puzzle about the possibility of finding footpaths on 7 bridges that run along a branching river that crosses an island, but without crossing the bridge twice. Euler argues that there is no such way. The proof only refers to the physical arrangement of the bridge. But in essence he proved the first theorem in graph theory. Types of graphs. Simple graph is a graph that does not contain a bracelet or double sides is called a simple graph. Unsimple graph is a graph that contains double sides or bracelet called an unsimple graph. There are 2 kinds of graph that are not simple, which are double graphs, multigraph, or pseudo-graphs. Based on the number of vertices in a graph, in general graphs can be classified into 2 types. 1. Finite graph, limited graph, so it is a graph whose number of vertices, n, finite. 2. Infinite graph, unlimited graph. A graph whose n vertices are infinite is called an infinite graph. Based on the orientation of the direction on the sides, in general graphs are divided into 2 types. Undirected graph is a graph whose sides do not have a directional orientation is called undirected. In non-directed graphs, the order of vertex pairs connected by sides is ignored. A graph with each direction orientation is called a directed graph. In directed graphs, U, V, and V, U represent 2 different arcs. In other words, U, V/Nick, V, U. The application of graphs. 1. The path from the house to the market. 2. Organizational structure. 3. Family tree. 4. The algorithm for cooking instant noodles. Planar graph. A graph is said to be planar if it can be drawn in a plane so that no edge cross. Graph G is called a planar graph if G can be drawn on a flat plane so that the sides do not intersect each other except perhaps the points from that side. Group of dots, non-planar graph. A graph is said to be non-planar if it cannot be drawn in a plane so that edge cross. A graph G equals V, U is called a planar graph if the graph can be depicted in a flat with no intersecting edges except the side edges intersect at a vertex. An example of a planar graph in daily life. 1. A graph is said to be a planar if it can be drawn on a plane without any side crossing. Such an image is called a planar representation of G. 2. Electrical circuits. Simplify the circuit first. If you pay attention to the sides E, F, there are no components. The voltage difference is 0 so that the vertices E and vertices F can be combined as well as vertices E and vertices D. Vertices E, F, and D can be combined become one node E. In the circuit there can be 2 areas so that there are 2 mesh currents symbolized by I1 and I2. Group of dots. Okay friends, that is a little explanation about graph theory. Hopefully it can be useful and can increase knowledge for all of us. Thank you watching this video.